right before their conference started. I couldn't say she was on our radar as a junior, but the fact that she was leading the league in scoring and she was pretty consistent those last 14 games, last 13 games of the year. We paid attention to her. The fact that she has a WNBA body, she seems to have WNBA toughness. She's really strong for a guard. And she's efficient for the amount for her usage rate. We thought that she was pretty good, but once we saw that we couldn't get her because Phoenix they took her in the draft, then we had to focus elsewhere. But she's somebody that's been on our radar for some time, and we like her so far here in camp. Really humble, mild person, but has a tenacity on defense that we really like.
When she was cut by Phoenix, what was your initial reaction? Did you say to yourself, like, okay, let's try and jump on her and get her?
No, actually, we had our team. It just worked out where, unfortunately, we got a chance to look at her because of, the COVID case for Sid, COVID-19 case for Sydney. And she popped. She was somebody that we initially said, hey, this is somebody that we can bring into camp next year. But once it looked like we were able to, get a hardship for Sydney, then we said, why not get a look at her this year?
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Coach.
Jake Meister.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
All right. How you doing, Jake?
Pretty good. So obviously with the schedule coming out yesterday, opening against Las Vegas, what are you most looking forward to in that game? Obviously a rematch from the playoffs last year.
I'm just looking forward to us playing basketball. This is a new year, so we're not really focused on anything that happened last year. We just want to get off to a good start. I'm more reminiscent of our first game last year against Minnesota, where I didn't think we were physically ready. So we just want to make sure we don't make that same mistake and we come out with a high level of play and a high intensity and ready to get to our spot. So that's what I'm thinking about more of is, us getting off to a good start and being ready to play WNBA basketball from the beginning.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Charles Hallman.
James, how you doing?
How you doing, Charles? Good to hear from you.
All right, John L. had a girl in October.
You said what?
John L., my son, had a girl in October.
Congratulations on being a new granddad to I'm sure it's a beautiful baby.
Thanks very much. Just in terms of the shortness of the training camp and in a normal season, this would be in the middle of the season. Do you have any concerns the players may do too much to get themselves ready, or you may do too much to get things ready in the sense of trying to do things so quickly, preparing for a season?
That's always in the back of your head, especially if it's someone like myself. You always try to find that balance, and it always kind of, I guess concerns you because we have a youthful team, but we do have veterans on this team. So we don't want to strike a balance as far as getting them ready with a sense of urgency. But we also want to pay attention to their health and listen to their bodies and what it's telling us. So we have some protocols in place where we see what we're doing and how much we're pushing them. And so we don't want to, we know I just heard Rome wasn't built in a day. I keep hearing that. So, but I want to still have a sense of urgency, but I don't want to put it in a place where we set ourselves back because we're recovering from injury or anything like that. So we just have to be smart about it.
What haven't asked of you about your team this year that you want to talk about regarding of what they can do better or do that wasn't done last year?
I think we can. I think the key for us is going to be how well we take care of the ball offensively. I think that's one thing that we want to make sure that we're doing. I think if we're not giving teams easy runouts or giving teams easy opportunities or extra possessions, I think it's going to make us an even better team. So we could talk about things defensively, but I think offensively, us taking care of the ball and us protecting the paint on defense are probably the two main things.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck this season.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And we'll take one more question for James from Aaron Walling. Here we go, Aaron. I think you're good now.
My bad. So, Coach, now that you have Ruthie down there for practices and workouts, what have you seen from her during these times as you guys prepare for the season?
I'm sorry, Aaron. I couldn't hear the first, who you were referring to. I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
Yeah. So now that you have Ruthie Hebert down there for practices and getting prepared for the season, what have you seen from her as you guys get ready for that first game?
We've seen, she's someone that, she's an intelligent player, but she's taking it all in. So, I mean, it's a lot of information for her. The fact that she has a natural flow to her game. So even when she's thinking, she's still moving and still doing things that make her special. The little things come naturally to her. So it doesn't take away from her. It's just when we're giving her so much information and she has to think, it slows her up a little bit. But she's on a good track. Like we're happy. We're very happy with her. We're pleased with where she is right now. With the loss of Jontel, it's going to give her an opportunity to play right away. So it's a good opportunity for her. We think she's ready for that challenge. So, we're trying to get her there. And so, but we're pleased with where she is right now.
And for a lot of people here in Fairbanks, they're excited about that there's an Alaskan on a professional team. So for you and the rest of the team, what's it been like having an Alaskan on your squad?
I mean, it's basically been, the same. I mean, I haven't really thought about it as much. I think when she first came, we asked her about Alaska a little bit. And I think that's something that's it's been so many distractions as far as being in a new environment and a new place and trying to get, the season started and having to wear a mask and having to social distance. So we haven't really gotten a chance to talk about it as much. And plus the one thing that another distraction is that we're not at home. Like we're not in Chicago. So everybody's kind of foreigners here. So we haven't got a chance to really, I guess digest it as much. But we know it's a special thing. You have somebody that's off the mainland from Alaska or from Hawaii. We know it's a different thing. So I'm sure the team has talked to her about how Alaska is, but I haven't gotten a chance to talk to her, and we'll talk about that at some point. But it's always I've always saw pictures of how beautiful Alaska is, and it's a place I would love to visit. So maybe I'll get some advice from her on where to go, and I'm sure she'll probably send me to Fairbanks, but I'll be okay with that.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Just a couple more questions, actually. First from Dylan Manfrey.
Coach, I just had this question pop into my head, but does Stella's game remind you of any player you've coached in the past? And what are your overall thoughts about, her game from what you've seen of her already?
Her game.
I know you said she was like WNBA ready when she came in, so I was wondering if, her style of play had reminded you of anybody you've coached or seen in the past.
No, that would take me a while to think about it. It hasn't. Normally, some players they naturally, kind of give me an idea, but I haven't seen her in the game, so that's what's really going to dictate what she can do. I tell you what, she has Gia Perkins potential defensively, but Gia Perkins was one of the great players in our league, and that's a big thing. But she has that kind of defensive tenacity. Potential. I'm not saying she has that now, but that potential, you can see that in her. Offensively, I'm not sure.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And Charles Hallman.
James, you've been asked a lot about your players. What about you as a coach? How you have improved in going to your second year as in charge?
I don't know. I work at it every day. I watch video. I watch coaches. I listen to coaches. I don't know how I've improved. I only see that by how the team responds. I don't really look at it. put my head down and try to work every day. I guess that's a good question. I guess I don't feel like, you know, I've won any awards or anything like that. I still feel like I have a lot of grounds to improve, but I'm very critical of myself. And I see a lot of errors in myself as a coach, and I just try to improve on those errors. And knowing that I won't be perfect, it's just what I can get out of the team is probably my biggest thing that I'm trying to get right. And I don't know. We'll see where the wins and losses come from that.
Again, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, guys. Thank everybody. All right.
Next, we'll have Cheyenne Parker. So for Cheyenne, you can do the same and raise your hand, or feel free to chat if you still have another question that pops up.